Hey guys, how you doing? So today I am going to do a real quick video on something that I thought we'd done before, but we actually haven't, which is surprising because it comes up quite often. So today's video is about gluten. Why are we talking about gluten? Well, we're going to talk about gluten because everybody seems to tell you not to eat gluten when they have no idea what it is and what implications it might have. So, let's get into it. Okay, so real simply, gluten is basically a mix of two proteins which are found in wheat. Wheat is found in things like breads and cereals, okay? So what is the problem with gluten? For many of us, there is absolutely no problem with gluten whatsoever. Other people have troubles digesting it. So basically, gluten's a very kind of convenient shape, which means it can pass through your gut lining and link onto lots of receptors which you might not want it to go onto, okay? So people that are sensitive or have allergies to gluten might get bloated bellies, as you've obviously seen before. They might have to go to the loo often, feel very bloated. People that have got more serious conditions, like might be a celiac, might get real bad diarrhea from it, kind of joint pains. So these are all things kind of from an inflammatory response to gluten. Often you'll find that people that might have an issue with gluten will have an issue with lactose as well, which is found in milk, basically because they're both kind of quite small particles, and if you have a permeable gut or a leaky gut, as we've talked about tons of times before, they're both going to pass through quite readily. Okay, so you all heard people go, oh, you can't eat an apple, that's got gluten in it, or you can't have that, that's a gluten, and they have no idea what it is, okay? So many of us don't need to avoid it. I personally have no issues with gluten whatsoever, and I don't avoid it, I just have it sparingly. And I don't necessarily have it sparingly because there's gluten in the foods, because the foods that are containing gluten, I can find more nutrient dense alternatives, okay? So instead of bread, I might have sweet potato or something that I prefer. I always want to get the most nutrient dense food I can. Whether it contains gluten or not is not necessarily at the top of my list, but for other people's, it's going to be right at the very, very top. So the same as always with nutrition and training, it depends on who you are. That's the beautiful thing about this life, we are all different. So some people you will need to avoid it, others you won't. If you think that you might have a problem with it, what I suggest you do is do like for 4 to 6 weeks where you remove gluten containing foods out of your diet and see how you respond after meals, if you still bloat and everything like that. If you don't, then you probably found your problem. If you still are, you might want to look into other alternatives. You might look into nightshades, or you might look into dairy, or you might just look into trying to repair your gut lining, or just having a healthier diet on a whole. So now you know what gluten is, so when someone tells you you can't have that because it's got gluten in it, you can tell them an informed response, or you can choose other words, it's entirely up to you. So on that note guys, I'm going to love you and leave you. Thank you so much for watching, and we shall see you very soon. Bye bye!